Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michele, mama 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about consistency and healthy habits when it comes to weight loss, because this is one of the things I see women have the most problem with. And sometimes we don't even see that we have this lack of consistency that is impairing us. So if you've ever said, I'm great for a few days, then I fall off, or maybe it's a few weeks, let me tell you, you are not lazy or unmotivated. A lot of times the real issue is we're trying to do too much. Our expectations are that things are going to happen a lot faster than what they're probably going to happen. And you might think that this one magic fix or this one thing you're going to do is going to work forever. And that's usually not the case. So we have to come back to our mindset and our expectations of what we think is going to happen. And so I had actually planned this episode out a couple weeks ago. And the episode I'm going to release next week, I recorded with a guest and we hit on some of these same issues. So make sure you guys tune into next week too to go into this a little bit deeper. Okay, so the first thing I want you to think about is think of this mindset shift. This isn't going to be perfect. And that's not a problem. Like, I'm not going to perfectly follow whatever I want to do. And that's not a problem. We can still have consistency and not be perfect. So a lot of people think I just need this one perfect system, this one perfect meal plan, this one perfect workout, whatever it is. And we think everything is going to be fixed, but that's not how it works. We don't need a miracle. We just need a mindset that knows things aren't going to be perfect, and that's okay. That things aren't always going to go smoothly. I had a message from one of my clients. She's like, yep, last week was hard. It got way busier than I planned it was, and I was probably choosing to do some things that I need to let go, but I'm going to start fresh this week. So when we can have that attitude and we can let the past week go or the past whatever go and start fresh, that's how we're going to develop more consistency. We have to know that things are going to get messy sometimes, but that we won't give up on ourselves and that we need to adapt to the changing seasons of our lives. So there is a lot of change with actual seasons, fall, winter, spring, but also within our life. There's lots of different seasons and we're going to have to adapt. And that is why there's not one perfect system, one perfect meal plan, one perfect workout that's going to work now and for the rest of your life. We have to be adaptable. We have to change with what's going on. So we want to have that mindset that maybe we went out to dinner last night and I ate more than I needed and I don't feel that great after, but it happened. I'm not going to shame myself. I'm going to notice it. I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to keep going on. Instead of getting stuck in that shame spiral and just like, well, now it doesn't matter. I might as well eat whatever I want for the rest of the week or the next week or however that goes. And I think something that is also really helpful to think about is that motivation can be fleeting, right? Motivation usually comes from however we're feeling, and feelings can be fleeting. They come and go. And that's why I think it's really important to have systems and structures in place that can keep you going. So, and when I'm talking about system and structure within our health realm, but also outside of it, like I have a system and structure for doing meal plans, for going grocery shopping, for doing cleaning around my house, because I hear from so many people, like they're so busy doing these other things. So if we can have those systems in place to do those other things, then we're going to have a little more time to devote to our health. So maybe you're thinking, if I can't do a full workout, I just do nothing. I have that all or nothing mindset. If I ate something off the plan, the day's ruined. So it just doesn't matter at this point. So when you have to catch yourself in this all or nothing, like I'm all in or I'm all out, and we have to put a brakes on it. So maybe I visualizing things in my mind. So when you know you're doing this, you can visualize someone slamming on the brakes You can visualize a big stop sign, something that's going to put a stop on it. Because that all or nothing mindset is just a big fat lie. You're literally lying to yourself if you say, I didn't eat well for breakfast, so the rest of the day's ruined. It doesn't matter. That's just a big fat lie. So we have to put a stop to that thinking and start telling ourselves the truth. Okay, breakfast wasn't that great, but I'm going to make sure I have my lunch pre-made and I know what we're having for dinner. Like, we need to get into that mindset where we can use that rational part of our brain and do problem solving and figure it out instead of just giving up on ourselves. Because really that all or nothing mindset is just an easy way out. It's an easy way out to just say, that didn't go plan, so who cares at this point? I can't do a 30-minute workout, so who cares? I'm not going to do anything. That's an easy way out. And sometimes we're just used to doing that. So we have to put that stop to it. We have to calm our brain, get into that rational part of our brain, and choose something different to think and do. All right, now another piece I want to talk about is the power of daily and weekly check-ins with yourself, or obviously if you are using a coach. But the accountability is always going to start with you. So what are you doing to check in on yourself? Are you tracking habits? Are you reflecting? Are you being curious, like, how am I doing? What needs to shift? And I find that a lot of people don't do this because we're going to do what we always do unless we're doing something different. So I have a habit app I use to track my habits because I wouldn't remember to do them. I'm building new pathways in my brain so they're not on autopilot. And I have to reflect. So I usually do this each week, like reflecting on how are those going? Like, what needs to shift? Do I maybe even need to let a habit go? Do I need to focus more on something else? So I'm constantly being curious and assessing. And even as we talk about seasons, like sometimes even just our weeks change where we need to like reassess and do things just a little bit different. And this is where we want to have that check-in with ourselves. But I think for some people that outside accountability can really help. So maybe for you, that is like a friend you're going to go walking with every week, or a friend that you text. I even have one of my EFT coaches. She's another coach. And sometimes we will swap sessions for each other. Like, she'll be the client, then I'll be the client. But we recently did where we were going to do 7 minutes of tapping by ourselves every day. And we were texting each other to check in and stay accountable. So having some sort of accountability can really be helpful. And obviously, if you have a coach, this is like what I do with my clients too. Checking in with them, holding them accountable, helping them reassess when things get a little messy. And also, as we're talking about this, I want to let you guys know that my Healthy for Life membership right now till the end of August has a free 30-day trial. So if you guys have been thinking about getting support either with mindset, nutrition, or exercise, this is the place to go. It has all of those. You get my self-coaching system inside the Healthy for Life membership. And this is where I go over these mindset tools. I have a module on creating goals for yourself and habits and how to do that. We go into the mindset tools so you can start to change those thoughts that are holding you back, and the emotional tools like EFT. So that when you don't feel like doing that thing you want to do, you have these mindset and emotional tools to get over the hump. So there's going to be a link down below where you guys can check out that free 30-day trial. And then if it's a fit for you, you can stay in it and have all those mindset tools and exercise programs right at your fingertips. So make sure you guys pause and check that out. All right, let's keep on moving. So the next part sort of leads off the last one a little bit. It's really important to surround yourself with people of where you're wanting to go or how you're wanting to make some of those changes. So I remember a long time ago hearing something like the, closest 3 to 5 people around us, that's most likely who we're going to act like. So, right, if our closest people are people who drink heavily a few nights a week, that's probably what we're going to do. If our closest people are always eating a bunch of processed foods and treats and everything is about food, that's what we're going to do. On the other hand, if the people we're around are people who like going for walks or hiking or maybe playing pickleball, we're going to more likely be active, right? So we want to surround ourselves with sort of where we're going. And it just helps to show what's possible. So I like to be very intentional about this when it comes to my faith. I want to be surrounded by people who know more about the Bible and the faith than I do, because I want to keep learning from them. And it doesn't mean I'm not surrounded by people who may be new to Christianity, but I need to have those people that I look up to and I can learn from. So we want to think the same thing when we're changing our health is, do we have people that we can look up to and learn from and be motivated from? And you might have people already in your life that maybe you just need to spend more time with. Maybe there is someone that's more healthier that you haven't spent as much time with. So it may not always be making a new friend. Maybe there is someone already in your life. And as you guys know, I'm a military wife. So especially the last few years, we have moved a lot. And you guys can always make new friends. I post in like the moms groups in the local area and ask people if they want to go for walks or find other similarities. Like typically when I meet someone new, like moving here, I met someone at a book club, the Well Read Mom Book Club. It is such a good book club. And as I met one of the people in there, I'm like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? So that's sort of what we do. We'll walk and talk. So that's a great way to start to get moving and get active with other people. Okay. All right. The last piece I want to talk about is to build consistency, we need to actually start small. So think 5-minute workouts. Think one healthy swap with something you're eating. Maybe just 15 or 30 minutes earlier of bedtime if you know that sleep is an issue. So to build consistency, I want you to actually think small, because we want to focus on that progress and not just that perfection. And when we can start with these small habits, like a 5-minute workout, we can start to build on those. We can make it longer, because really all of us have 5 minutes, right? Most of us probably waste 5 minutes or way more on our phone a day. And so we have 5 minutes to work out, but we have to make it a habit. It's like getting ourselves to do that thing. So one way to do this is to use like a habit anchor that you already have. So like brushing your teeth in the morning, that's something you always do. So maybe your new habit's going to be, after I brush my teeth, I'm going to do 5 minutes of a workout. I'm going to do push-ups or squat. I'm not even going to use the video. So you want to tie it to something that you've already done. You want to have that habit check-in, an app or a piece of paper where you have your habits and your goals and you're checking in and you're being intentional about those each day. So I encourage you to not wait for some perfect time to start, to just start doing something small now and maintaining that consistency. And remember that it's not going to be perfect. And that's okay. That is not a problem. And we can drop that all or nothing thinking so that we can actually start getting to where we want to and release that shame and guilt that all or nothing thinking brings. So I encourage you also, after listening to this, if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure where to begin, you can always book a free clarity call with me, and we can talk about what's keeping you stuck and the next steps. In the description, there will be a link for a free call. So if you're thinking maybe that you could use some health coaching, maybe Michele can see something that I'm not seeing right now. If that's you, I'd love to chat. We'll talk about those missing pieces and figure out the next steps and the ones that are actually going to move you forward without adding more stress. We're going to keep it simple, doable, and practical. So if you've been on the fence about getting some extra support, I encourage you to reach out. All right, friends, I hope that you guys have a great week, and make sure you tune in next week.